Chicken Keeping 101, First Aid Kit Arsenal. Let's go through my first aid kit that I keep on hand for injured chickens and sick chickens. The first thing you want to do is make sure you have something that you can organize everything in, even if it's just a basket, because that way you can grab it quickly off of a shelf wherever you have it stored when you're trying to help an injured chicken or a sick chicken. So I'm just going to go through everything I have and explain why I use it. Most importantly, I keep poultry care. You can pick this up at any local farm store. I keep the blue coat cot, however you say this. This is amazing. It will stop bleeding right away and keep the other animals from picking on your chicken while they're bleeding, because we all know if they're bleeding, they're in grave danger. I also keep a wound wash as well, just as a backup, just in case. And let's see, iodine swabs, Vet RX, and I am not sponsored by any of these companies, you guys. This is for educational purposes only. Prid for when they get bumblefoot to help draw out the bumble. I love this stuff. It comes in a nice little container. If you've never used it, you should try it with your bumblefoot, for your bumblefoot. I also keep gauze for any wound wrapping, but mostly it's used for bumblefoot. I buy the vet wrap at the local farm stores. It comes in like a package of 3 or 4 or 5, and I cut this down in strips for my bumblefoot as well. And I also use gauze pads on the bumblefoot. So those are all my necessary items for bumblefoot. I also keep Neosporin for bumblefoot as well, as it's healing up and still continues to be wrapped, but you've got the bumble removed. I keep Neosporin for that. I keep over-the-counter Monistat for GLEAT. It's just a small tube. I just use it to coat around the vent area, a small amount for a 7-day treatment. I keep tweezers, and the tweezers are used for many things. They could be used for hatching chicks out of the incubator. They could be used for removing something stuck in the chicken's foot or elsewhere. I've had spurs broke off in other roosters as well. So a good pair of surgical tweezers or store-bought tweezers are a must. I keep a spray bottle of distilled water for hatching baby chicks for when they have been shrink wrapped. I keep and I'm not sponsored, but I also keep a pill form dewormer, and I use dog pill pockets to treat them with that. Vaseline for if they're egg bound. Crushed yarrow. This is great for stopping bleeding and blood clotting. If you grow your own yarrow, I highly recommend you dry it out and crush it down to a powder. It's great for blood clotting. A container of flour for when I am hatching baby chicks, because if the baby chick's bleeding from the umbilical cord area, I will dab the flour on the umbilical cord to stop the bleeding right away. I like to use the flour. I feel like it's a little less harsh than trying to use the blue coat on a baby chick that just hatched out of its shell. Olive oil, this is used also when I'm hatching baby chicks that are shrink wrapped. It helps moisturize the layer that's stuck to the chick. Excuse me, my dog just burped. Excuse you, Evie Marie. I do keep an on stock vitamin and electrolyte, just in case if I have somebody in my first aid station that's going to be staying in that station, I can treat them with a electrolyte powder. Q-tips. This can be used for many things, cleaning wounds, but mostly I use the Q-tips when I have a shrink wrapped chick and an egg. So, because I'm spraying this water in my hand, dabbing the Q-tip in it, and moistening the film of egg shell or the egg wrap that's stuck to the chick. Let's see. We covered Neosporin, covered flour. Did we cover Vaseline? I believe we did. And that's all I have. I'm sure I have way more stuff, but it just doesn't fit in here. But I wanted to share with everybody my first aid kit that I keep on hand at all times and try to keep it stocked. And a lot of this stuff you can get at the Dollar Tree, you know, like the Vaseline and Q-tips or a good pair of tweezers possibly, you know, gauze, bandage wraps, stuff like that. So, I mean, I try to you know, buy inexpensive things when I can. You know, but the poultry vet spray and stuff like that, that stuff, you know, it's huge. It's so important to have that poultry vet spray and the blue coat for bleeding. I cannot tell you how many times I've used it. I have used the blue coat on other animals here at the farm to stop bleeding as well. Thank you for joining me. If you have any suggestions for my first aid kit, I would love to hear them. Please post them in the comments.